You're welcome back to this training. This is the graphic design training, graphic design for beginners by X-plore Design Studio. Okay, in our last video we stopped at explaining the toolbox, so I'll continue from where we stopped. So we're talking about the shape tool. So I said you find your toolbox on the left part of your screen, which is where my mouse is hovering currently. These are your tools. So what your tools does for you is that your tools helps you achieve diverse kind of manipulations for your design project. So when I was talking about graphic design generally, I said something. I said graphic design is conveying information using elements, shapes, and text. Design elements conveying information via design elements like shapes, text, line, pictures, like images and all of that. So this is a beauty flyer, for instance, and the goal of this flyer is to advertise a business. Advertising a business. Something is not right here. Let me quickly edit this. So I said graphic design is using design elements to convey an information. So this is a simple graphic design for a business. The name of the business is a beauty business, like they do manicure, pedicure, hair making and fixing of nail. So the name of the business is Medlin Beauty Hub. So I'm advertising for them using the flyer. So they're advertising I'm trying to explain graphic design here. So graphic design is used to convey an information via design elements such as text, images, icons, colors, and background. So this is a simple graphic design. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to do this. So for you to achieve this, you need to know how to use the design tools. So take for instance this image. When I got it online, it wasn't like they had to shape it using the shape tool. This medlin, of course, it was not like this. I had to give it this color using the color palette. This box carrying the image, the hair, and the nails, I had to make it curve the way you see it, like this, using the shape tool. So any manipulation, you say, okay, I had to put this picture inside the box. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you how to do all of these things. Even if you're a beginner, don't worry, you'll grasp this. So what I'm trying to say is this: you need to know how to use the tools. I'm trying to explain the importance of knowing how to use the tools. So whatever you see in a design, whatever feel you get, was achieved by reason of the graphic designer knowing how to use his design tools to achieve whatever he wants. I don't want to go online right now. If not, if I go on Pinterest, you see a lot of graphic design. You may want to explore the website. Is pinterest.com, pinterest.com. So let's quickly go back to our tools. I was trying to talk about it. So we stopped in our last video, we stopped at shape tool. Continue from there, all the same. So we have our shape tool. I'm going to teach you how all these tools work. So first of all, when you hover your mouse around the tool, when you just put your mouse close to any of the tool, you get an insight on what the tool is used for. So for the shape tool, you notice the insight. They said edit a curve object or text character by manipulating nodes. So when you select the shape tool and you apply it on an item, let's take this for instance. This thing was not like this in the beginning. Let me scatter this. Let's give this 0, and let's also give this 0. Is that fine? Okay, that's that. So when I click on my shape tool just like this, you will notice something. They say you do what? You edit a curve objects or text character by manipulating nodes. So these are the manipulating nodes. This is one of them. This is another one. This is the third one. this is the fourth one. So there are 5 nodes here because this part is curved already. So if I want to work on this part, I'll just select the node I want. You can choose to select all. You can select all by holding the shift button. I've selected 3 now. So if I edit any part, it applies the same effect on the remaining parts, just like this. So this is one part. What if I want to edit this further? Let me duplicate this. I'm right clicking. I'll click drag and right click. So what if I want to manipulate this further? Let's say I want to give this 0, for instance. 0. Okay, so if I select my shape tool and I want to manipulate this further, I can right click and convert to curves. Remember, we're manipulating with our manipulating nodes. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 nodes. So if I want to add more node, I'll double click. I've added a node here, so I can do something like this. If I want to add more nodes, I can do something like this. So imagine me doing maybe a school badge, for instance. This is not cool. Let me undo this, Ctrl Z. Okay, if I want to I can choose to make this a curve. Remember when I was talking about property bar, I said the property bar gives you properties of whatever item you are selecting. So on my shape tool now, these are the elements here. I can choose to make it a curve. You see what I'm doing? You can do something like this if you want, or something like this. So just play around with these tools. I can choose to make here so this is not, I'm not really doing anything, but when you know how to use the tools, you can achieve anything you want with it. So I can choose to make a curve. I'll just put the point, select curve, and do something like this. So this is how it works. So let me make this normal. This is not cool. Okay, remember I told you guys about ruler. Okay, let me just select this part. I'm trying to do something. Let me delete this. So the ruler helps you achieve proper alignment. You see, as I'm zooming my screen, you notice there are grid boxes. So the grid boxes also make your work very straight, so you can explore them. You may not see them when your screen is not zoomed. Okay, so these are the grid boxes. It makes your work straight. When the line is green like this, it means it's straight. Okay, but that I'm just playing, sha. So this is how you use your shape tool. So I'll also mention something. Whenever you see any of these tools and you notice something like this, these black dots, it means there are other tools there. So when you click on the black dots, you see other tools. So there are smooth tool, smear tool, they have their function. So this is basic graphic design. I might not go in details. I only teach you the things you need to know. You understand? So let's just stay with shape tool, where you can explore the others to know how it works. Let's try the smooth tool. You see what's happening with the smooth tool. So the smooth tool gives your shape a good design, but it's not, but just you can explore them. This is nice. Graphic design is very cool. So the next tool I want us to talk about, these are major tools outlined there, but when you click on this dot, you will see more. So under this crop tool, there's knife tool. What does the knife tool do? If I want to cut this into two now, and I click, like I've divided that into two. This is how the knife tool works. So but let's go back. So under the shape tool, we have other tools. You can explore them. We just use the smooth tool. Let's try the roughing tool. Hey, wow, this is great. My god, this is cool. Okay, this is the roughing tool. Okay, you guys are beginners. You may not really, I wanted to say something about the roughing tool, but let's go back to shape. So I'll delete this. So you can explore the tool. Remember, the goal of knowing how to use your tool is to be able to manipulate your elements till you get something you desire. You getting me? So the next tool I'd like us to talk about is our crop tool. The crop tool works more for images. We'll just use the knife tool. So let's say I have an image but I don't have any here. Should I get one? If I have an image, you can crop. Let's try out something if it will work for a shape. Okay, it's working. So if I click enter, see that I've cropped out some parts of this. You understand? So this is how it works. So but that's for the crop tool. The next one is your zoom tool. What the zoom tool does is it helps you change the magnification level of your document window. This is the window. So if I click on zoom tool, I can choose to zoom out. So this is the magnification level. I can use it. Let's say I want to see this thing properly. I can just come here and do like this. I can also zoom out to page. If I want to see this properly, I can just select something like this. So your zoom tool helps you increase the magnification. Let me put it to fit to page. The next thing I want you to talk about is the line tool. So the line tool helps you draw lines, simple lines like this. So you want to draw vertical lines, horizontal lines, diagonal lines. You can achieve that with your line tool. So design elements includes line as well. So this one is just for simple line. What if I want to draw more than this? You can explore other tools on that line. You can use your Bezier tool. Your Bezier tool is used to trace. It's used for tracing. You can just do something beautiful with your Bezier tool. You can also use your pen tool. You can also use your B-spline tool. So all these tools are for lines. So I'm using my pen tool. The pen tool works like the Bezier tool, but the Bezier tool helps you to trace out shapes and image and elements. Now when we start doing designs, you will use them. So your B-spline tool, let's say it works. This one can give you a curve. When you want to draw curvy lines, B-spline tool can also help you. So I've drawn something that looks like a cloud. You understand? If I give this color, for instance, or this, and I remove the outline, you see that it looks like a cloud already. So if I'm doing some illustrations, now this is too, if I want further shade, I'll hold my click the color and I want to get something lighter. I can do something like this. So all these are just for your consumption. These are lines. You use your B-spline to get this kind of line. Then I will start doing designs. I'm just showing you how to come up with or how to use the tools. when we go into our design, just for instance, I will use my zoom tool to bring this to this magnification point. So the next on my tool is rectangle. To use a rectangle to get rectangle shape or box shape like this. So you want to get an ellipse, you can, okay, remember I said there are other, if you want 3 points rectangle, are you seeing that? So this is how it is. So you can explore. So I said whenever you have some points like this, it means there are other tools inside. You may want to explore them if you don't mind. So the next we have here is our ellipse. This is how you draw your ellipse. If you want your ellipse to be accurate, always hold down your control button to get an accurate ellipse. You see that all sizes are equal, but if I don't hold my control and I just draw, I won't get equal size. I can do something like this, but if I hold my control, it will be equal. So I'm holding control already, that's why it's like that. So if you want to get a perfect circle, always hold your control key. If you want to get a polygon, there are other ellipse. This 3-point ellipse. So if I do something like this now, I can, okay, that's that. Let me go back to the normal ellipse. Always keep it on the normal. So if I want to draw a polygon, for instance, my screen is becoming too noisy. Let me delete some elements. I don't want so much noise here. So if I want to draw a polygon, the same way you applied your fill color on this, you can also apply your outline color. That's how you do on these other shapes. So if I want a circle, for instance, I'm holding my control, a perfect circle, I can give it a color. Let me give it this color, and I give it an outline like this or something like this. So remember, the property bar gives you the property of that. So for this ellipse now, you see that if I want something like this, so I can get this from the property bar. If I want an arc, you understand, and with your shape tool, you can determine what the arc will look like manipulating that stuff using the node. So I've selected shape to get this. So if I do something like this now, so that it works. So you can explore all of these tools. If I want to increase the thickness, I'll just give it like 8. So depending on what you want to achieve in your design, the goal of understanding the tool, I'll keep saying it, is to be able to manipulate these elements to achieve a cool design. You understand? So some persons create background. I also teach how to do and achieve good designs very fast by using design resources. We are going to treat design resources in course of this training. So the next thing is polygon. So you want to get polygon, you want to get a star, you can find them here. See different shapes, chart flow, banners, call out, spiral, anything you want, you can get it. I need a star, I can just come here. For perfection, always hold your control. So when this is selected now, you see the properties changing. So if I flip it like this or like this, like this or like this, so you see what's happening. So I can choose to increase the number, I can choose to increase the size. If I give this 30, for instance, see what will happen. So you can increase the number. So anything you want to achieve. Sometimes you see something that is on certificates, so maybe you are designing a certificate. This is not graphic design. Maybe I'll create a special curriculum. The goal of this training is basic graphic design. You understand? Because I'm doing this for UI UX beginners that don't have graphic design knowledge. That's why I'm doing this class. But if we're doing normal graphic design, maybe I'll create a course on graphic design. Don't worry. Okay, these are the tools. You can also give it a color, maybe peach color and pink. So just do something cool, something nice, something beautiful. play around this. You get? Please, as you are watching, also practice. You know design by doing, you don't know design by watching videos. You know by practice. So I can increase this. So depending on what you want, still on the shape tool, I can also do something like this. I see what's happening with my shape tool. I'm changing the side. So whatever I want to achieve, shape tool got me covered. This thing looks like a blast. Boom, all these Christmas lights. So if I change this maybe to orange, then I make this blue, so it looks like Christmas lights. So whatever you want to achieve, you can get it done with your shape tool. You get? So these are other tools you can explore. The next I'll talk about on our curriculum is, talked about ellipse, I've talked about polygon. You can increase the size of your polygon as much as you can also play around with the shape tool, play with the nodes. You notice there are some nodes. See some of the node now. So oh god, this is beautiful. So you see what's happening. I'm using my shape tool to achieve this. I've transformed. Remember I said you can transform the object or manipulate using your shape tool. So this is nice. This is nice. So you can explore these tools to see how they work. Don't worry, we'll start doing graphic design, like handling projects. You will get to understand this better. So the next is your text tool. So you want to write a text, you click on your text tool and you type I love Jesus, Jesus. So you can choose to manipulate this. Remember, the property bar gives you the property of whatever I select. If I select this item, the property bar changes. The goal of giving you this bar is so I can manipulate it further. So if I want maybe 7, you see what's happening. So if I want 4, this is crazy. So for this star now, if I want 9, are you seeing what's happening? So this is how it works. For the text, if I want to change the font style to whatever I want, I can just come and play around, can give it a color. Let me stay with these colors I've added here. So I love Jesus, and I can duplicate this, right click, Jesus loves me. This is basic graphic design. Not there's a lot. I'll create a graphic design course. I think I'll do that for the purpose of those that also learn graphics. So if you want to do a t-shirt, for instance, you can just come and type, like do a write-up on a t-shirt and print. You can just put, and this is not cool. Let me change the font to something else. Jesus loves me. So you see the way it is. So you play around with your text. I can give this another color or something like this. So we are going to talk about colors as we proceed in this, because knowing how to use your elements properly, if I will talk about design principles, colors are one of the things we talked about. So you need to know how to manipulate your colors properly. You don't use colors that doesn't have unity and coherence. So I can't do something like this. This is not cool, because so you use colors that are similar. You understand? So let's undo that and leave it. This is fair. Let's try if this will be good. So just use similar colors and all of that to achieve cool design. When you look at this flyer, you notice that the colors are are blending, they are similar. So that is how it works. So let's go back to class. So these are the tools you need to explore. Okay, the next tool I would like to talk about is shadow tools. I didn't add it here, I stopped at text and more, so I'll just talk about shadow, transparency, and eyedropper. This eyedropper is different from this. This is to select colors here, but for this eyedropper now, if I need this blue color, for instance, I'll just click on my eyedropper and I put the blue color here. You see what has just happened? Are you seeing what's happening? Are you seeing? So these are it works. These I've just talked about the eyedropper. Please take notes. The next is transparency tool. Let me undo this so the transparency will show better. So if I want to make this transparent, if I click on my transparency tool, I can reduce the opacity. Opacity talks about the tone, the color tone. Let me increase this so you see it for yourself. What's happening here? Okay, let's drop shadow. For instance, I'm clicking on the shadow tool now. If I want to drop shadow, you might have seen something like this in some designs. These are the achieve it. So you can increase your shadow with this. That's the tone of your shadow. Depending on what looks cool for you, can change your shadow color. Remember, the property bar gives you more options. So this is my shadow color, black. I can make it blue. I can also pick a color. So I've selected that color. So your eyedropper tool helps you to pick colors, and it makes it easy for you to pick colors. So I'm just manipulating my shadow, trying to work on the transparency tool. Let me use this shape for the transparency. So if I select transparency tool, something is wrong, it's not working. Okay, we'll talk about that when we start doing designs, so let me not take time. So this is a continuation of the last video, so I won't stay much. Another tool you need to know about is your interactive fill tool. This helps you use more than one color for your design. This is selected already. So this is the property. So this is called uniform fill, the first one. If I click on this, I take out the fill. If I click on this, it's uniform. What if I now use fountain? You see what's happening? I've selected fountain, more properties have come out. I can choose, this is what is currently on linear fountain. I can use elliptical fountain, see the way it is. Can use conical fountain, see the way it is. I can use this. So depending on what I want, most times I often use this elliptical fountain. You can choose to switch. Okay, let's add color so you see what I'm talking about. So I can add a node here and I use a light color like this. If I add, okay, it's the same color, so let me do something like this. You see what's happening here? Okay, let's say this is a dark color, and on this part I'm using a lighter color. See what's happening now? See how this looks? So if I'm using this is how it will be. So depending on what you want to achieve, I can also choose to switch it like this. So this white, I can choose to give it something like this, but white is better because it makes it shiny. You understand? So this is cool. These are fountain fill works. You might have seen something like this in a design, so it will make sense more if maybe I'm using a circle. Let me see if I can change the shape. Okay, if it was on Figma, I'll be able to change shape, object style, color style. Okay, so that is how it works. That's how these things work. So we'll be stopping here for this video. This is X-plore Design Studio, where you can learn graphic design, UI UX design, and anything that has to do with design. So this is basic design for graphic design for beginners. Thank you for staying to the end. I'll see you in my next video. Take care.